Hey everybody, thanks for being here. So we're gonna present an application of NFT for supply chains. So it's a protocol we call hot potato because it's like to stop losses and increase efficiency in a hot potato scheme we will present. So I'm Quentin Chabert, CTO of Ownest, interested in security, blockchain, sport, and nature. And my mate is Quentin de Beauchesne, founder of Ownest, CryptoFR, and head of blockchains at Ownest. So he's gonna present the first part, what Ownest is doing, and I'm gonna present the second part, more technical.
Hi. So, little summary. What is hot potato? What are our use cases and apps? And after this, the other Quentin will talk about the technical layer and what we're developing right now is Diamond. So what is a hot potato protocol? If you heard about blockchain and supply chain, most of the time you heard about timestamping. You take an event, you put it in the blockchain, you say, it's great, now we know what is happening. In reality, you don't know. You just put an event in the blockchain forever. If it's false forever in the blockchain. So you're not changing anything comparing to a database. So you need to change something here. And that's what we are doing. A blockchain is used to do transfer of value. And transfer of value, we know really well about transferring cryptocurrency, about transferring tokens, about transferring ownership, but we can also transfer responsibility. And we realize that in the supply chain, people are tracking goods, saying, I want to know where things are, but in reality, what they want to know is who is responsible for what. And we can do that with an NFT of responsibility. If we exchange at each time an NFT of responsibility of a good, we can know who is responsible for what at any time. And why are we saying it's like an hot potato game? Because the hot potato game is a game where you just want to give the hot potato to the next guy. Here it's the same. We probably have the only NFTs you don't want in your wallet. Because if you have it, it means you have the responsibility over it. If you lose something, you will have to pay for this. So you just want to give it to the next guy. But the next guy doesn't want it either, unless he has to take it. So in a supply chain system, it's really effective. Like I said, the only way to send it to someone else is for both parties to agree on it. That's how we did it. So comparing to what we would say classic NFTs, where you can send the NFT to anyone, here you need an acceptation. You need the other person to accept it. So you will need to go to a consensus between the two people exchanging the good for the exchange to happen. By doing this, you will obtain real data from the field, not something that is just taken from arbitrary computer and something like this. Most of the time, you will get data that isn't the reality. Here, you will get the data from two people trying to not be fooled by the other guy. So you will get a much more qualitative data. This results in true traceability. So how did we do it? We did it with two applications. One is the mobile application, the other is the dashboard. The mobile application is the application that will generate the certified data on the field, because it's the two applications are web app, so progressive web apps. So you don't need to install something on your phone, which is really effective, especially with people coming from warehouse, drivers. you don't want to get something complicated. And the mobile application will permit to do the transfer for the field operator between the driver and the warehouse person. And on the dashboard, the managers will be able to audit what is happening in real time, to monitor, and also improve the supply chain, because we can also set, after this, if we have the data, we can set alerts, we can set requests, and we can also have a real claim in real time. If there is something that is happening between two people when there is an exchange, somebody say, I don't want your parcel because your parcel is broken, you can say it on the application. You can take a photo and you will have the claim in real time in the dashboard. By doing this, you also resolve the conflict on the field before they happen, which is quite effective. An example of process we are doing is, for example, Saint Laurent. So with Saint Laurent, we are tracking between boutiques and headquarters. We're not doing like the new NFTs for I don't know what in a boutique. Here it's just between Saint Laurent. And what they do is they, for example, here you're at the headquarters, you want to take a photo of a bag to put it on the website. Where will you take the bag? You will take it at a shop, and the shop will send it to you. And after this, what happened of the bag? And you will have a lot of unknown losses in the boutiques because of this. If you track from the beginning the request to the boutique, then the boutique will accept and send the bag with the responsibility to the navette. The navette will bring it to the HQ, will give the bag and the responsibility, like you can see here, and the responsibility will be transferred to the final user, to the photographer. And the photographer, we will know now that the photographer has responsibilities over 2 bags and one dress. It's already live on the field. We already work with, like I shown you with Saint Laurent, we can reduce losses by 99%. We can improve the return in regular stocks. We improved it for Cdiscount by 70%. We can also have a 100% coverage in real time of production step. For example, with SNCF, where we're doing it for the installation of rails. And we already had 100K product references, 24,000 ECMR, etc. So now let's talk about how it's done.
Yeah, so now you know what we are doing. Let's check out how it's done. So we're using mainly, not mainly, but only open blockchains. So we started on Ethereum Classic because it was cheap, and now we are on Polygon to secure the NFT of responsibility. So that's the layer we choose. Our users do the transactions by themselves. It means they sign the transactions locally on their device. That's broadcasted to our API and then broadcasted into the Polygon network. So at no time we are having any client private key or any signature is faked by us. Everything is done locally on the client's device with the local wallet they decrypted on authentication. So this protocol of responsibility runs our API, and this API is then used to provide data for our apps. So we care about the privacy of our clients, of course. So that's why on the blockchain we do not broadcast anything specific or private. We mostly use IDs, hashed data that can be recovered after, thanks to our database. So the mapping between NFTs and real assets is encrypted and only accessible by our clients and the organizations. It means that it's really hard to have an understanding of what's really happening on the field regarding blockchain data. So a quick word about Polygon that we showed. It's becoming a widely used blockchain now, so it's not really a surprise. We are also joining the move. So we are validators since 2020, and that will help us, of course, provide the gas for our clients' activities, and to be able to help the ecosystem to develop too. So our core architecture is based around our APIs and then our interfaces. So blockchain APIs interfaces, kind of. The Ownest responsibility protocol is at the bottom of all of it. And we are trying to open this protocol between S2 2022 and S1 2023. We will use the Diamond AIP 2535 in our next implementation. So I will have a few words about this standard later. So how do we do these interfaces and API connection? So we first developed a package in TypeScript to embed every mechanisms involved in signing, blockchain, deciphering, also assets deciphering for details, modifying properties of assets. Anything that is blockchain related is embedded in our package and can be easily integrated into any interfaces. The REST API is also one of our endpoints for our customers, our clients. So we can easily integrate with any webhook or push any data they need to have a live view of what's happening on the field. And there is also a functionality with non-custody wallets to help interact with more connected systems that rely on data pushed by IoT, for example, but we try to not rely on that too much. So a quick view of what's the Ownest protocol, kind of, so the transfer of responsibility protocol. We have different ways to do the handshake. So I can send a product through the send function, but it won't be accepted until the recipient calls the accept function. You can also receive products with an offline signature, meaning that you can accept with the signature of the sender. You can also request the products, so it's like a pre-accept. You can say, hey, send me this, please. And as soon as you're gonna send it, it's gonna be in your wallet. There are also other properties management methods. So I'll tell you a bit more about the Diamond standard and our use. So what's a diamond? A diamond is a contract with external functions that are supplied by facets. Facets are contracts, independent contracts that you can bind to your diamond to provide a set of functions. So the main motivations for going to diamond standard is the size of the contracts. You can have way more functions, and the upgradability. So you can put more and more standards. So here are two token standards present in our diamond contract. So the ERC 721 to represent a really generic responsibility token, and the ERC 1155, so the multi-token standard, which is really the main standard here because we need both ERC 20 and ERC 721 to deal with assets diversity and the supply chain. So we developed this as a facet, and a few more specificities of our diamond contract, meta transactions, which are really handy to help for client wallet and funding management. Loop facet, which is pretty common for Diamond standard, but it's needed to be a facet. An admin facet to help manage our clients' resources, the subscription and the services and they can trigger on their products. Also a certification facet that manages the broadcast of data we want to certify. Quick word on this possible release of responsibility token standard. So we're not yet, but soon maybe we'll see the chain NFTs, like we've seen with chain emails. So before we reach this point, maybe it would be interesting to adopt a new standard on ERC 721 that cannot really handle spam. There would be ways for proxying through new standards and reaching the ERC 721 standard from this. So maybe we could stop, just show the ERC 721 in a few years and transition to this standard. So yeah, this kind of handshake and global pre-approval could be a way to develop more and more interactions and protect also users from any spam or unnecessary tokens. Thanks for listening.
I think we have a few minutes for a question, I think.
So this is really interesting because you kind of like... Hi, Nelson from Materium. This is really fantastic. You've done a good job, I think, kind of like mapping the supply chain and the issues. In terms of like what you have now, what you're gonna have in the future, the end products, do you have some kind of asset passport for the final NFT, or is it more really for the company to manage their internal process, or is it like external facing product also?
Yeah, it's both, really. So we started with B2B parts, because if you want to get a full traceability, you need to start with complicated part that is B2B part, and we are now moving to the B2C. So to be able to do B2B2C and giving a passport at the end that could be used for many things, like renting, like guarantee, and.
But the passport could be a classic ERC 721 for this case, because it would be just easy to transfer then. So it's more like a bridge between the tokens and bringing the responsibility token to the end customer.
Hey there. Yeah, no, I think it looks really good. I like the idea, and yeah, I've been watching the supply chain space for a bit as well. With upgradability of smart contracts, it's something I had to consider in my project as well, and we kind of had to think a lot about how a user can opt into an upgrade. Do you have that ability for clients to choose what does or doesn't get upgraded in the smart contracts, or is it, by virtue of it being a diamond, you have the power to upgrade it regardless of the client's choices? So it's just that question of, if you have that ability to upgrade at any time, they have to trust you, and then it follows with the question, why blockchain if they have to trust you 100%? Just to be, mix it up.
Yeah, I see your point. So no, currently the only one being able to upgrade the contract, and yes, we have the authority on this. So we're working with CAC 40 companies, CAC 40. So they're not really blockchain savvy yet. So we are handling a lot of the work for them too. And that will be the way to do it. I agree with you. Else we could temper and really, yeah, they would need to trust us completely. So it's going to be totally open, and we're looking for a way to secure the upgrades with our clients. So some kind of multi-sig, I guess.
Yeah, I would say we are like, for now, we are Web 2.3, because yeah, our users aren't like Web 3 savvy, aren't even like digital people native. So we wanted to, at the beginning, the idea was we want to give like crypto to big corporation without them really seeing what's happening. So now they're using application on the field. They're using it like any Web2 application, but in the end, they're doing transaction on the blockchain. And they're putting everything, every certification in the blockchain.
Thanks for your attention, guys.